What's good, and welcome back to another video with Nick Talks Niners. I'm joined by Maj today, and today we're going to be diving into the prospect spotlight again, and we're going to be going over the wide receiver class in the 2025 NFL Draft. So, let's get into it.
Who made you that intro?
Hey, might be you. Might be you.
That was fire.
So let's get into today's video. Like I said, we're going to be talking the wide receiver draft class and who we think the Niners are going to pick, possibly. We're going to talk about the early round receivers. We're going to talk about the late round receivers. Maybe some sleeper picks, Maj. Maybe.
Yes, sir.
So let's get into it. To top the class, you have Tedero McMillan and Luther Burden are probably the top two.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, Tedero McMillan is some people have said today that he's kind of slipping the more NFL teams look into him, which is interesting.
Why was what was the reason for that? I saw that, but I didn't was it because of his height? I don't know what it was.
No, it's not his height. He's 6'5".
That's what I was saying.
So I'm not 100% sure what it is, but Mel Kiper dropped his mock draft 2.0, and in that it had him going late, like 22, I think, to the Chargers. So that's a lot later than I think people are kind of expecting, because it seems to me like at least in my opinion, I think the Cowboys are going to take a receiver at 12 right after us, right? So I don't really see him slipping that far. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe come draft day, there's a different story leading up to it, but I think he's going to go earlier. 6'5", 212 pounds. He was productive all 3 years at Arizona. So he's a stud. He does have a teammate in Jacob Cowing, who's now on the 49ers. So he played his last year without Cowing. But them two together were a pretty dynamic duo at receiver at Arizona. So that's one we could look at 11. I don't necessarily love that pick at 11.
No.
But with Ayuk's injuries looming and Debo wanting out, we do need some receiver help. I do think we can find that later in the draft.
Yeah.
But depending on how the draft swings in round one, if a lot of the good picks are taken before us, picks that Lynch and Shanahan love, I could see him going Tedero McMillan or Luther Bird. I've seen a lot of people are putting comparisons from Luther Burden to a lot of good receivers. And a lot of people are saying he's like the next Malik Neighbors. So, I mean, if you're getting a Malik Neighbors at 11,
that's good. I just don't know. I don't think he's like.
Well, I mean, we'll see. So you also have, like I mentioned, Luther Burden out of Missouri, 5'11", 208. So kind of a smaller receiver compared to Tedero McMillan.
Yep.
But I mean, he's fast, and I mean, he's 21 years old. That could be a good pick. The third ranked prospect we have is Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State.
That's who I think the Cowboys would draft.
They could.
The Cowboys, they need I don't know. I feel I don't know. I just feel that Egbuka kind of fits there.
He had a productive college career, and he played with a lot of crazy wide receivers, obviously, at Ohio State. I remember when he was a freshman, I mean, he was playing well, and people were saying, hey, when it's his time, he's going to be the first receiver off the board.
Oh, and he's a great route runner.
Yeah.
He's fluid change of direction. He's really good. It's just thing I'd be scared about if even the Niners were to draft him, which they're not going to. Staying healthy. He battled that knee injury.
Yep.
In 2023, so that's one thing I'd be scared about for any team drafting him. But good thing the Niners aren't going to draft him, because we don't need a receiver. But
okay,
yeah.
You have Matthew Golden right behind him.
Dog.
Yeah, Matthew Golden's a dog. I mean,
Everyone, yes,
6 foot 195. I love Matthew Golden,
great
and
speed.
that's a guy that you could maybe look at pick 43 in the second round.
You could. I
Um,
don't think, Leslie, I don't think he's going to fall. He's got
I think
great
I
speed.
think, but you have to think, dude. If McMillan and Burden are slipping, I could see him slipping right past him. It's kind of how it goes usually when the top prospects slip in the certain position
You're
class.
right.
Usually they tend to fall too. Another sleeper who I think is going to be taken pretty high is Alec Ayomaner from Stanford. This
Mhm.
guy's comparison to the NFL is Mike Evans.
Yep.
Big body receiver, 6'2", 210. He's a really good contested catcher of the football. He had one game last year, or was it the year before, where Travis Hunter was they were playing Colorado. Travis Hunter was matching up on him. He dropped almost 300 yards, had 3 touchdowns. It was one of the I was watching it live, and it was one of the craziest receiver performances I've seen in college football. It was nuts. The guy was catching everything. He was like he single-handedly kept Stanford in that game. It was unreal to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah.
So that's a guy who a lot of people are going to think or are thinking he's going to go higher. Behind him, you have Jack Beck out of TCU. This guy, I don't know what it is, dude. This guy gives me like Cooper Cup vibes. I don't know what it
Yeah.
is.
I can
Uh,
see that.
I mean, he's 22, so he's played in college a while. He's 6'2", 215. I just think he's kind of he kind of like he's not the most athletic guy on the field, but he makes up with it with his route running.
I listen, you're talking about all these receivers. I think, are we talking about receivers that like we think the Niners are going to get or have a
Yeah,
chance to get? Because
yeah,
I think the only really receivers that I'm looking at on this list that I think the Niners could get realistically is if they wanted to go second round, they can get Isaiah Bond. That A.O. Maynor guy sounds really good. Jalen Royals sounds good. It's just, you already know who I'm going to say. You already know what I'm going to say. Man, if he
yeah.
falls to us, dude, I think that's the only guy that I would want in Savion Williams. You also got Tez Johnson too. He's really good, but man, the one guy I want is Savion Williams. We talked about him before. The guy's just, he's so good. I don't know if you could pass up on him. I think Savion Williams is going to be a steal in this draft. Like, he's going to be a steal. Tez Johnson as well. I like Tez Johnson. He's very good route runner, very fast. It's just
Yeah, very fast.
his size kind of scares me. He's like
Yeah,
not big at all. He's really skinny and he's kind of
yeah.
short. So I don't know anything about him, but I just feel,
What about kind of later, like a Xavier Restrepo who has like
what about a
every
Nick
record?
Nash?
Yeah, I mean Nick Nash. I mean he led
I
college
mean,
football in
bro,
receiving yards, catches. I think touchdowns too. Bro had the like basically the triple crown of college football. But so that's what
he
I'm saying.
did.
Somebody like that, or like a Xavier Restrepo out of Miami, who holds all of their records. He played all 4 years. He kind of fits the mold of what the Niners are looking for as far as culture wise. 5'10", 198.
I
I
get
think
that.
he's kind of a dog. If we're looking later, I like Trey Harris out of Ole Miss, 6'3", 210.
I
Kind
think
of
Trey,
another big body receiver. I do like him.
I think
Um,
Trey Harris will go earlier. No,
I mean, maybe. You know what's crazy is this guy's kind of flying up. This guy, when we were first doing mock drafts, dude, he was like a 7th round, like maybe undrafted guy. And now I'm seeing him ahead of Nick Nash, and that's Kyle Williams out of Washington State. I watched this guy play live because I'm from Washington. I watched this guy play live in Pullman, and dude, he's kind of a freak. Like, I think he's a sleeper pick, and I could see the Niners taking this guy later in the draft.
for me, I've like everyone's talking about Nick Nash, and like I like Nick Nash. It's just the
Hmm.
scary thing about Nick Nash is he played on San Jose State. Like, that's the only
Yeah.
part I'm scared about. Like, if he played on a SEC team, Big 12 team, just like a higher ranked school, then I think this guy could be a top draft prospect in this draft class. And for me, this draft, I feel like if the Niners draft a freaking wide receiver, we gotta draft someone high. Like, I don't want to draft like a lower guy if we don't get anyone during free agency, and we need someone to be a wide receiver, come in and just be good right away. I don't want to draft a late round guy. Like, there's late round guys that I like. Jimmy Horn, I like LeJontay Wester, 2 Colorado guys. I like those guys, but those guys will not come into our team and change the team, right? I want guys
Hmm.
that if we bring them into the team, they'll make an impact right away. And I think Savion Williams can do that. I think Tez Johnson can do that. And if you want to pick a guy in the second round, I think Matthew Golden's a great player as well.
Mhm.
Trey Harris, you mentioned. Ale
I
Maynor. I also like Isaiah Bond. Isaiah Bond is sick
Yeah.
too. Like Isaiah Bond was the
Alabama
starting.
transfer.
Yes, he was literally the starting wide receiver 1 for Texas, and then Golden kind of not Golden. Yeah, Golden kind of took over that wide receiver 1 role, but Isaiah Bond the year
He's
before
a
that,
good
he
player.
was the wide receiver 1. So you're drafting a wide receiver 1 prospect, and I don't know. I feel like for the Niners, if they draft a wide receiver, I don't want it to be a guy in round 7, round 6. Like it's got to be an early player because if it's not, it's just gonna be a Ronnie Bell again. But I
Yeah.
don't think you can get worse than
I
Ronnie Bell.
I
So
do also like the idea of drafting a player with similar comps to drafting a player to like a similar comp of Juwan Jennings and letting him learn from Juwan for a year.
yeah,
That kind of thing. Or I mean, dude, there's a lot of players I like late. Like Ricky White adds a lot of speed out of UNLV, 6'1", 190.
okay,
I
but
also
listen,
think Keandre Lambert Smith is a good player
I
at
like
6'1", 182.
I like these guys, but you're naming off all these guys, and we drafted a guy like this last year in Jacob Cowing, and
Hmm.
did Shanahan use him?
No,
No.
no.
Like,
He
that's what I'm
doesn't like
saying.
to play rookies, bro,
No,
unless
but
he
that's what I'm
has to. But I think he'll be forced to play Cowing this year, and I'm excited to see what he has to offer.
that too, but I feel like if we draft a guy like Jimmy Horn, I don't think those guys would play.
Hmm.
Like, Cowing would come into games and create madness. He would long ball down the field from Purdy against Kansas City. Who
Yeah,
caught that ball? It was Cowing because he's fast. He's a good route
yeah,
runner as well, and Shanahan just doesn't use him. That's why I think for the Niners, if man, we barely even used Pearsall. So
yeah,
it's either we draft someone early or we draft someone late. And if we draft someone early, he's got to make an impact right away. And if we draft someone late, he's probably just gonna be like a punt returner guy and probably never see the field because Shanahan does not like to play wide receivers that he drafts. It's weird. You draft the guy in Ricky Pearsall first round. You think that okay, this guy's gonna probably be a guy in the offense. He's gonna be our number 3, number 4. You're gonna see him a
yeah.
lot in the offense. And I know we got shot and everything, but like once he came back, you kind of got him into the rhythm. You got him in, and then after that, we just never played it. Like Ricky had like 3 games in a row with 0 yards.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason why I'm saying I think the Niners should take a couple chances on some flyers
I thought I
later
think
in
we
the
should. Yeah,
draft
yeah.
is because like Shanahan doesn't like playing rookies unless he's forced to. But with Ayuk out, Debo gone, like
You're gonna have
I
to.
think he's gonna have to
You're
exactly.
right.
And so I mean, going into it, it's just like I do like a lot of these players, even late, like LeJohntay Wester, or sorry, Ja'Cory Brooks, 6'3", 195 out of Louisville. Like I like him. I like Wester too, to your point. Um, Theo Weiss Jr. out of Missouri, 6'2", 192. Like these are players that I do like later in the draft. Um, and I think if even Arian Smith, like this is another one that we kind of have with Cowing already, but 6', 185. And people are saying that this guy's going to be the fastest ever. Like some people are saying that he's going to break. What's the receiver from the Chiefs that broke the record? Uh, why am I blanking his name? He
Who
went
did
to
you say?
Texas. He went to Texas. The receiver that the Chiefs drafted out of Texas. I
Xavier
don't know
Worthy.
why. Yes. Some people are saying Arian Smith is going to break Xavier Worthy's record. So a speedster like that, like I think they just need to take a chance on a couple of these flyers. Maybe that's a big body receiver. Maybe that's an absolute speedster like an Arian Smith, like somebody to stretch the field or give the Niners more options that they don't have.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying that. So there's a couple guys I like Ja'Cory Brooks, like I said, Arian Smith for a late round pick. I do like the Colorado guys. But there's also some guys that have just shown massive production, which fits into the mold of what they drafted last year, like a Nick Nash, like a Kyle Williams had a lot of production at Washington State, or like Isaiah Bond. I mean, he went to Bama, had production, and then transferred to Texas, had production. Like Xavier Strepo, like setting all the records.
Yeah.
These are guys that have shown production,
We
and
also haven't
I
even
like
talked about
the idea.
Jalen. We haven't talked about Jalen Noel.
Yeah, from
He's good too. Quick
yeah,
footed.
yeah,
He creates space. Only
yeah.
bad part
Iowa
he
State.
does, he's kind of had like some bad drops in his career, but that's a guy too. He's a really fast guy. I just think last thing really is if we draft a wide receiver, let's freaking use him, please, because we tend to not use our rookies. Pooney wasn't even going to freaking start this year, and then like we wouldn't even know what Pooney would have been like, and now he's a great offensive lineman. He could be an all pro. That's how good he played this year. So
100%.
for me, the Niners, I trust in who we draft our wide receiver. I think Pearsall is going to be a dog next year. I think Pearsall, Jennings, Ayuk when he comes back. I just do think I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens.
Okay.
We got to draft. I think if we do draft a wide receiver, it's got to be a route runner, a guy that's really good at running routes, crisp route runner, which Savion Williams, I already said I want Savion, but Savion's not like that. But we need a guy that if Ayuk's not back at the start of the year, we need a guy that Purdy needs a man that's open. You got him. And I know Jawan Jennings is we do kind of have a Jawan Jennings. So to be honest, draft wide receiver, play him, and I hope he's good.
Okay, so main point of this video is one, we want to see Jacob Cowing on the field.
Yes.
And then the second point is this isn't like necessarily a top end heavy wide receiver draft. It's not very deep, but I do think there's a lot of options that the 49ers can explore later in the draft that maybe offer something they don't already have. So that's going to do it for this one. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Go subscribe to Maj. That'll be in the description below. And until next time, peace.
Peace.